We can get into our Raw recap right now. Here, a lot of stuff happened on Raw, but I'm just going to focus on a couple of things here. Of course, Chad Gable defeating Gunther for the first time ever, legitimately, even though it was a count out. He didn't get the
Thank
title.
you.
The first win over Gunther on the main roster. What do you guys think about that match and seeing Chad Gable in this role here to upset Gunther?
Can I go first, Brian?
Yeah, you go ahead. You want me to go first?
No, I got this one. Now this is how you finally use your roster. Thank God. It's just I'm so happy. I don't know. I think I just get excited when people that we all know have that work ethic and that skill to just be elevated to that next level. And it's like, let these guys wrestle. And you know, Chad Gable was somebody who probably wasn't even going to be considered for a long time. And then organically, like, you see somebody of his stature, but then the things he can do, it's just like, look, you can't deny who this guy is and what he can do. You know, he has a personality. Yes, he's a comedy act, but it's like, look, this is what you can actually do with him. Are they going to actually pull the trigger and give him the title? I don't
It would be monumental for him.
Yes, yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. So I don't know where they're gonna go. It would definitely shoot him to the moon a bit. But we'll see how, if he does get it, we'll see how his IC run is. Can he keep the prestige of the IC title going? Because obviously Gunther has to move into the championship title title picture, and you know, especially after at some point, exactly, after especially beating like the longest reign ever. So that time is definitely coming. And I thought the match was great. The match was solid. This is why I say, like, you know, when you have these guys that are smaller statures, like, you have to let them. You have to believe that they can actually beat these big dudes. It can't just be like, oh, look at these giants. They're just going to smush all these little guys. It's like, no, like, these guys are technical wrestlers. Chad Gable's probably somebody who, I don't know what he can squat or deadlift, but this man works out. And you know, they highlighted that. They're like, look, this is why he works out so much, because he's suplexing all these dudes that are twice his size. And you're like, all right, this is believable. Like, he can actually do these things, and we can actually see him winning. So I just like that he's finally getting that push. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm also glad that he's finally getting this push. I mean, it's a prime example of if you have a gimmick and you stick with it, eventually the people are gonna. Well, I don't want to use the term acknowledge, because that's more Roman Reigns. But the people are gonna know. But the people are gonna know your hard work, and they're gonna start caring about you. And that's what's happening to Chad Gable. To come from where he came from Shorty G to the Alpha Academy to now being what everybody kind of wanted out of him. The match itself was solid. You love the story that they're telling right now, because going into the story initially, I thought this was just going to be another quick pit stop for Gunther. Let's just add up the days until we get to him passing Honky Tonk Man for the longest reigning IC champ. But they're actually making something of this right now. I think they're noticing that, Chad Gable is over now with this audience. I mean, when he first started doing these little catchphrases, the shoosh and the whole thank you and all that stuff. I mean, I initially thought, all right, this is all pretty straightforward stuff, but no one's really going to catch on to any of this stuff, especially with how corny of a character he is. But apparently in WWE, if you do something enough, corniness turns into coolness. I think that's something that we've noticed over the years with some of these catchphrases.
Yeah.
So love the direction that the story is going in right now. I'm anticipating this is probably going to lead to a rubber match at Payback between the two, which probably Gunther's going to go over. But we're definitely seeing a lot out of Chad Gable right now, to the point where when Gunther does eventually pass Honky Tonk Man, and he needs to obviously give up the IC title to move up to that next level, you would see right now that obviously Chad Gable will be the number one person for him to be dethroned. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Just looking at this, it's like it's about time that he's getting this type of recognition. I always liked Alpha Academy back in the day, of course, with him and Jason Jordan and stuff like that. He got hurt, and that was supposed to be like the next tag team of that era. Never really got the chance to do that. So to see him in this capacity here, of course, as you guys mentioned with the catchphrases and stuff like that, like people legitimately booed him. Like they were like, "Get off my TV." But through hard work, his in-ring ability, even in losses, like you saw how impressive he was in the ring, where it's like they're not just squashing him. He's actually getting some movesets in. He's actually looking strong here. So to see it finally come full circle here, where this is probably one of the few times where we're not mad at a count-out victory. Like how many times and I like be like, yo, like he actually beat Gunther, like even though it wasn't a 1-2-3, it was legitimate. It was kind of Lex Express, but it's like they at least showed that he can at least stand toe to toe with Gunther, and then Gunther has been on this amazing reign. Beat Sheamus, beat all these other people, beat Matt Riddle, beat Drew McIntyre at the last pay-per-view. So just seeing Chad Gable in this, and especially as you guys said earlier, getting over from that Shorty G character during the pandemic, I was like, he's about to get his release papers. Like this is like I thought it was over at that point in time. I'm like, this is going downhill. Like, and especially I think he lost to Baron Corbin in the King of the Ring tournament.
Yep.
That whole story. So it's just like seeing that, and it's like we don't know if this guy's ever going to get a chance to do this. And Monday Night Raw, this is one of the benefits of having it 3 hours, is he has been able to get time and been able to get over in the ring, been able to get over on promos, has shown that fire and intensity. Everyone knows what he can do, and to see that match against Gunther, how good it was, it's like, yo, there's something here that WWE can tap into and doesn't have to send him back to the back of the line or anything like that. Like, he's a legitimate hand that you can put in the ring, put in spots, and be a good hand, be a champion, potentially. So it's like, it's definitely awesome to see him in this moment and get this chance. And it's like, it's about damn time. It's about damn time. So hopefully this continues and he can get that match at Payback and we can get another banger, of course, because we definitely need that. I believe there's only 3 matches that are set for Payback, but yep, Chad Gable getting the win here. Not winning the IC title, so this is definitely not over. Gunther now has something to prove, right? Like Gunther has something to chase. Like, I gotta beat this guy. Like it's not just like all right, I just moved on to the next like I actually have to prove that I can beat this guy now. So that's awesome. A different wrinkle to his storyline, his dominant reign, and he's been doing great, especially in his role as well as a heel champion. So to see that happen with him and Chad Gable, and hopefully they can mix it up and get something good going forward.
Is that match with them two at Payback before he passes the title reign or afterwards?
I think he's close to passing it.
Yeah, I know he's very close.
Yeah, so. He's like almost like I would say like 2-3 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, it's close.
I feel like it was. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I think they said like 20 something days or
it's like 20 days or something like that. Like he's close.
Yeah, if he passes the reign and then it's Payback, I'm pretty sure he's gonna lose the title. So I mean, I feel like
that would be the perfect time to do that. Payback is September 2nd, so that's 2 weeks from now. So I'm pretty sure he's getting close to that. If he does drop it, I mean, that's fair. I mean, it can give somebody else a different reign. It can give Seth the potential challenger, or he can go into another feud, Gunther, for right now, until he gets that world title opportunity. But it's like, if Chad Gable's going to be that guy to take the title off him, I wouldn't mind seeing him get a nice little fall run, seeing how the title works, how that works. Yeah. The pairing with him and Otis and Alpha Academy and stuff like that, and just seeing how they back him in his matches. I'm pretty sure that would be a good, awesome way to see that happen. So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens going forward with that. And Gunther has been impressive as hell ever since he was Walter. And
funny you say that. But do you remember the outrage on Twitter when they initially changed his name?
Oh yeah, they hated
and it was legitimate. It was legitimate.
It was
such a good name.
They had to understand why they did that, though.
Like, I understand it.
Such a good name, though.
It was a legal thing. It wasn't like they were doing that to be assholes, like they normally do when they change somebody's name. That was
they were doing it to be assholes. They were doing it to be assholes.
Why? Because his real name was Walter.
Yeah,
his real name's Walter.
His real name's Walter, so they can't use it. So if he leaves WWE and he wants to be Walter again, he can be Walter again. If they want to use he can't be Walter if he leaves the company.
Is that a thing? You can't use your real name in WWE, or because of like legal?
It's very I think AJ Styles was the only person to really come in from that, and Samoa Joe as well. Like those guys were the only ones to come in and be like have their real name. Like everybody else was changed. Everybody.
Samoa Joe's name isn't Samoa Joe.
I mean, but just his name, like just his actual moniker. Like he was able to.
But like Brian said, I think his real name is Walter, not like Edge is Adam Copeland or So
AJ Styles, but AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, they've already had such legendary careers on the Indies and being Impact, Ring of Honor.
Walter
so they already had that prestige. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like, you can't really change his name because we know who they are. So you can't if you change his name, it's kind of like that's ridiculous.
But that's what I mean, like. Oh, so is it a thing of like, we can't trademark your name because it's your name? And if you become huge, it's like, well, we can't make money off your name because it's your name.
Pretty much.
That's
all
actual law, but it's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's stupid. But
to elaborate, to go from that. Now it's like now he's Gunther. A lot of people, unless it's us, we won't even think about the whole that his name is Walter anymore.
Well, it's because he's been booked right. If he was booked horribly, they were like, "Look what they did to this man."
There was a moment in the beginning when it was like, what are they doing?
I think it was because of that.
Right. And then Vince McMahon, and then that article came out of the Wall Street Journal about Vince McMahon. Therefore, Triple H takes over creative, looks at Gunther and says, "Nope, he's
not losing. He's not gonna lose."
And just and just to speak on Gunther, like, of course, we all love Gunther and stuff like that. What he's become, like, he's definitely like transformed his body. Like, he looks different. Like that's been the biggest thing throughout this whole thing is like he's able to go a little bit longer now. Like he was able to go already, but now that he's in shape, it's like. It's just different. It's just a whole different animal. Like,
just look at that match. Look at that match he had with Ilya Dragunov, and you're like, the weight that he was carrying back then still made him look huge. But now for him to be shredded and still be powerful, it's like that's just like
he's a beast, man. We can move on to our next segment here. The Judgment Day dissension continues here as we continue on our Raw recap here.
Quick thing before we get into Judgment Day. Do you guys think or see Imperium switching up or adding new members with all this hinting of like, what's going on with them and whatever?
I did see in the article he said he wanted Io Shirai or
somebody. I forget who.
Yeah, he named like two people that he would have wanted, and I'm like, no offense, I'm like, they're not even European. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I get the whole thing about Imperium. Like, they're like the United Kingdom and shit like that. Like, you're like, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah. But I the past 2 weeks they've been hinting at like, well, first it was him being disappointed in what's his name? Ludwig Kaiser. But then he won. But now, obviously because of this loss, he was pissed. Like, what the hell? Why didn't you guys come out and help me? And they're like, we thought you wanted to do this on your own.
I thought he was going to kick out Da Vinci, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
so it's like, what's happening now? And it's like, they definitely. I think it would be dope if they added a fourth member because they used to have the guy that was in Sanity.
Wolf. Alexander Wolf. I think Ilya Dragunov would benefit from that group a lot. I feel like that would be a great addition.
It's funny. They actually asked him that in a question in an interview about would you join Imperium, and I think he said like the values of Imperium and his values are vastly different, so it wouldn't make sense for him to join Imperium. But
no,
I mean, he's heel right now in NXT.
Exactly.
So,
is he a heel technically?
He's like a kind of Samoa Joe-ish type heel.
yeah.
Kinda.
Like he's definitely made the change. But yeah, if they added Ilya Dragunov, if they added him, that would be like crazy. It would just be like, what the hell? Like,
or what if they steal a Butch from the Brawling Brutes?
a trade? It would have to be a trade. You just can't walk to the other brand, Lewis.
Yes, you can, because LA Knight did it.
He was taking photos, and then got
Still walked over. He still got walked over. He was like, "Hey, I'm here. Okay, go out there." I'm sure anybody else could do it.
This week as well too. So it's just crazy.